you have done a lot of study, and earlier you mentioned about how you encountered the Buddha nature teachings yourself. And one of the things I was wondering is, in those days, it must have been so difficult to access these teachings, because I don't know how many translators existed then. And that's what drove you to also take up Tibetan. But today we are perhaps actually far better off in terms of the availability of interpreters and translators, English-speaking teachers, not only just Tibetans and Himalayan teachers, but also a lot of now Western teachers teaching in secondary languages. There's also an awful amount of literature available out there, both digitally and in print. So if someone is now encountering the Buddha nature teachings, what would be your advice for them to actually navigate through these huge sort of inundation of information and Dharma available, to make the path more effective, more, say, focused?
Yeah, it's a good question, Karma, because these days we have so much information available. And well, my advice is that, you know, if you have the opportunity to meet a master, or you have connection to a master, you should go and spend as much time as you can there, because the transmission lineages, you know, is very important to keep them alive. And so not just to rely on books, but really seek out individuals who you know, have a level of realization of the Buddha nature, who can transmit the presence of, you know, the presence of being centered in the Buddha nature is a very important, because information is just information, but experience and true, what's the word I'm looking for, somebody who's living the Buddha nature, this is extremely, for me it has been extremely important, more than anything else. And then what I would like to suggest is, avail yourself of these wonderful resources. For example, a good place to start, I would think, is the Tatra Buddha Nature website, where you're really gathering things, and you have, you know, you're showing people who have been working with things, and you're linking to their publications. So you may go with some of that, and then of course this way of you know, people get to meet people in this way. They can connect through, maybe if they find somebody is inspiring, they can, you know, follow up on that. Or again, we mentioned the 84,000 website. Sutras are there, they're available. It's very good to actually recite sutras or read them aloud. It has very important, it's a very, I find a very useful way of recitation. Meditation is very important, in your own language also, as a way of connecting with the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas through the sutra material. Also, I would like to mention, if anybody is interested in the teachings of Khenpo Tsultrim Gyaltsen Rinpoche, there's now also a very nice website on the digital library of Khenpo Rinpoche's teachings. They are there, you know, in audio and video. And there's also the yogi songs that I mentioned that you can listen to, or you can sing, and you can, if you like to practice through, you know, emulating realized masters. A very good way to do that is through singing songs of realization. It can really cheer you up because the meaning is so profound, and singing it itself is something that can, you know, be uplifting.
Well, wonderful. Those are just wonderful recommendations, especially singing yogic songs. I think it can be very therapeutic, and at the same time perhaps quite enlightening. If there are no questions, then we may perhaps draw this session to an end. Thank you, Anne, for sharing your knowledge and wisdom and experience with us, and thanks everyone else joining us from around the world. Do keep interested in this series of conversations, and we hope that through today's session you'll be able to overcome the 5 problems that Maitreya mentions, and then cultivate the 5 positive attitudes, 5 positive sort of aspects of, let me count them, of great joy or enthusiasm, of respect for others, like respecting a Buddha, of not giving in or falling for unreal, untrue, afflictive emotions and things, and going for wisdom, going for truth through wisdom rather, and through, as a result, cultivating great love, great loving kindness for all sentient beings. So with that, thank you everyone, and have a wonderful holiday season. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Thank you.